Hello and welcome to Editing with My Wife, now on Wattpad. My name is the Hooded Philosopher, and I'm here with Cheesy Loops.
Hello.
Cheesy Loops, what's going on today?
Today's episode's about what chaos really reaps.
That's it. That's the truth.
I hope I didn't fudge that too bad.
I just want everyone to know that my wife is my favorite person.
Aww.
And I need to say that to everyone who listens. It's not you. You're not my favorite person. And you never will be. Because my wife is my favorite person. That doesn't mean you can't try. Anyway, let's move on.
You're my favorite
to
person.
the recap because I'm on the wrong page.
Whoa.
So they go to the book club, bang Samuel and Ella, two resistance members. And then Tresca decides to make the boys take them back to Marcus so that he can regroup with Force and Enola. And then she went up to the river, or to the castle where Rokai was, and just confronted him directly. And found out that she still loves him, and he still loves her. And then some things happened that were misty and steamy and fun.
Oh.
But now we are on chapter 22. And I just saw the page, and I've already forgotten the name of the chapter. It is To Aid the Rebellion. Duh.
That episode will forever haunt me, by the way.
Oh yeah, because I'm married to me.
No, because I had to read it aloud.
Oh well. You prefer to read that kind of thing to yourself.
When no one knows I'm reading.
That's good to hear. Alright, so we are on chapter 22. To Aid the Rebellion. Nathaniel and the boy waited for his new friends Samuel and Ella. When Samuel walked into the room, he was holding a small bag. I know Marcus could help Rokai, whether he wants to admit it or not. I'm bringing some trap diverters. I'll need your help. He reached into the bag and pulled out a few small steel balls with small runes. Rokai would not like it if the whole army transgressed on his land. We need to convince him to come alone. Nathaniel looked at the boy. We have a friend talking to Force right now. If with Flo's help, she has joined us too. In order to stop Sloan. Ella walked into the room with a wonderful smile. Marcus is a wise leader, much like his brother. Well then, Nathaniel said, let's get a move on. The four of them walked out the front door to the outside world. Samuel the friend, how did you meet my aunt? Nathaniel asked, trying to make conversation to pass the time. For ages, Tresca of Love wandered from town to town, setting up little resistance groups she liked to call book clubs. Samuel started. We all had faith in her until Rokai proposed. Then she had troubles coming back. Rokai wasn't mad when she declined, Nathaniel said, shocked. No, in fact, after she left, he made it his reason to exist, to prove to her that he loved his people. He wanted none of his people to starve. If you listen, he has a bell in his tower, and when he rings it, food appears in warehouses that people are free to go grab, and the people that work there conjure food also. And in his rush to prove his love to Tresca, he gained his people's affection. He called Tresca his Flo, the reason the madness has not made him hateful. I guess that is why she didn't mind going alone, Nathaniel smirked. It's quite simple. She has endeared herself to all people with her love. And when she does inevitably need us, how can we not jump when she asked? He stopped them. Something's wrong. The sights ahead are not for the faint of heart. Samuel looked at the boy, then back at Nathaniel. Should we go around? Shouldn't we ask the faint of heart? He looked at the boy and moved his hands. What's ahead is very scary. Are you prepared to see some gruesome things? The boy paused to think and thought about it. He left the boy to his pondering. Looking back at Ella, she asked, is there another way? Her voice was more authoritative than he had expected. I do have an idea, but he pulled out his flask and took a sip. He picked up the boy, saying, close your eyes. After he did, he looked back at Samuel. I'll be right back. Nathaniel kept his eye on the path, sympathizing with the boy, not really wishing to see it himself. He saw Marcus and put the boy down next to him and ran back to Samuel and Ella. Wow, Samuel said, adding, that was cool. Nathaniel smiled. Would you like me to take you across? He asked Ella, reasoning he could carry her slight frame on his back. Ella smiled at the thought. No, I wish to go myself. Thank you for the consideration, Nathaniel. Nathaniel nodded his response, and they walked into the gruesome sight. Bodies littered the small valley. All of them had body parts that weren't their own laying around them. 3 charred craters marked the grim death they all underwent. Nathaniel broke down, falling to his knees, starting to weep. They stopped. Nathaniel put his hands on his friend's shoulder. Move ahead, we can catch up. He went to look at Samuel, but something else caught his eye. It was the seed of chaos. Its misty black form blended into one of the dark craters. No, he said through gritted teeth. I still have chaos to sow. He was staring at the sharp teeth hidden in its misty center that they twisted and moved in a threatening manner. The tears were still flowing. The seed of chaos, Nathaniel. No, don't. She was crying now. Don't tell me you met it. I not only met it, I have given it a promise. Ella gasped. We should leave this place. It reminds me too much of the family I lost. She grabbed Nathaniel, lifting him to his feet, wiping away his dark thoughts with the memories of his family playing in a field in his home flashed in his mind. It carried joy, a memory of holding his wife in the next moment. A simple feeling of warmth flooded him. The tears seemed to disappear. She wiped at her own tears, and they started walking. She had his arm around him the whole way, helping him to recall his happiest memories when everything got to be too much. When they finally got through the carnage, they stopped for a moment to let Nathaniel catch his breath. The seed of chaos showed me how he killed them. He killed all of them. The children. They didn't deserve to die like that, he said. They were just children. His voice was solemn. I would never wish the seed of chaos on anyone. And when Sloane called it on it to protect children, I knew that the rebellion was inevitable, Samuel reasoned. An ashblatt, he spat. When I was in school, they told us what it was, and they convinced most of us that it was a necessary evil. But the truth they did not say is that it takes something from you when you speak to it. It breaks down the order you have imposed in order to feed it. They told us the divine has given only the order of those that did not choose his way. He let them into our land. He let it into our land, giving our own people as payment. Giving his own people as payment.
Mm-hmm.
One of those two.
Somewhere along those lines.
Sounds best. Despicable, Samuel added. They walked the rest of the way in silence. When they arrived, they walked to Marcus, who stood at attention, saluting them, saying, Captain, I've been trying to communicate with you. The traps. We had no warning. Ella saluted him back. At ease, Commander. I brought your brother. I need to speak to Nathaniel alone. After giving Marcus a massive hug, he gave her a gesture to the tent behind them. Nathaniel followed her in. The boy was sitting at the table eating from a banquet. He waved at them. They sat down, grateful for the meal. What did you give it, Nathaniel the Noble? I gave it everything I had left. I gave up my ability to maintain order. I may only sow chaos for the rest of my life, and I promised him that if he could have me if I didn't. He looked down at his hands, fear making his mind echo the words he had just spoke. She paused to think about what he said. Then we will help you sow the chaos the false divine has brought into our world. Thank you, Nathaniel. That may have been your most noble sacrifice. I will bring our army to regroup with Force and Naol at River's Force. When you've finished here, go assure yourself that Tresca is safe and has changed Rokai's mind, she explained confidently. After Nathaniel ate, he left the boy in the military's capable hands and took off, with arcane speed, back toward the land of plenty.
So it's kind of good to know that after hearing, I feel like for Nathaniel, after hearing about Rokai's goals, that Tresca's fine.
Yeah, in fact, he kind of was aware there may have been something else going on.
No wonder why she wanted to go alone.
It seems like a good reason to go alone.
And so there's that. And then the curse of Ashblatt.
Ashblatt is not something that really gets discussed too much in this book, but it basically means demon.
Yes. And I was going to say, you explained it to me, and it's not really a thing that you were focusing on. It is kind of the opposite of the divine, or the arcane beasts, the things that take them.
but it doesn't taking them for magic purposes. It's taking them for sacrifice purposes or some other nonsense. But it was ancient things. They don't really talk about Ashblat as a real thing anymore. Like we talk about demons.
Right.
But the Seed of Chaos looks like one of them. It isn't. It's much more powerful than any individual being. But...
Well, and the curiosity is do you ever explain more about the arcane beasts in here?
Well, kind of. Ow.
Arcane beasts aren't taking people just to take
No,
people.
They take people who do the drug too hard, do the substance too hard, who use too much of it too fast, who frivolously spend it because they're accruing power they shouldn't have.
Yeah. And
so they come and just slip them away. But if you just use it gently, nobody ever is going to stop you. Nobody's going to think you're trying to become a god like the divine. And now they have a divine that can fight it. That's not a good thing. But it doesn't really matter. That's what Nathaniel's for. He's here to stop it.
And it's kind of dark to hear what happened to Nathaniel's family.
Mm-hmm. I thought it would be hard for him to even say the words he said.
Yes.
And she used a magic to make him think of joyous times. She's an agreeable person.
See, I didn't get that fully in that sentence. I wasn't...
She's an agreeable person. And when he was recalling the times, she was making that happen with her magic.
Oh.
That's why her arm around him was important. She was making the contact necessary to kind of bring those emotions up to the surface.
To give him the good memories of his family instead of the negative.
Yeah, these are the negative ones that the Seed of Chaos is reminding him of.
Yes.
Those terrible, terrible nightmares he has every day.
Okay. Ella being the younger, and we kind of touched on this a little bit.
She says, when I was in the school also.
Yes.
So she went to the school.
Right.
Which makes her very valuable.
Yeah, because she learned all the stuff in the school.
Which is the whole thing Sloane is really trying to do. The school isn't bad. Everyone knows it. The school isn't the problem. There's problems in the school, but the school isn't the problem. It never was. It was... What was it?
People's greed?
It was Sloane. It was madness. It was him not adhering to his personality type. He's an open person. And here he is, closed off to the world. It's destroying him. Unlike Rokai, who is an agreeable person, and he just led into it instead of resisting it. He learned from Tresca how to not look like a threat and just love, just care about people, making sure they're fed. Yeah, I thought it was a very beautiful little scene. That idea of it.
That she's his.
His flow.
His flow.
And it's very important.
I was going to say force and I was going to say river, and I was like, nope, those two aren't right. What's the third one?
It's very important because Sloane has an army, and Rohan has an army. So now they've turned the armies. It's no longer they don't have to take 4 down; they only have to take 2 down, and they have 2 to back them up, 3 to back them up because of the rebellion. So their odds are in their favor now.
Yeah, because Grolic is gone, and that's kind of disheveled, and
yes,
that book club has got to try to take that.
There's probably some struggle for power over there that any writer could take. Honestly, you want to write a story about the grab for power after Grolic's demise? That would be dope.
With Lola leading the charge,
or even Flynn and Kryn. They're there.
Yeah, Flynn and Kryn. I see Flynn and Kryn more as people hands-on, whereas Lola is kind of back in the.
Yeah.
Either she's the
learning from her mistakes.
she's the support at home base.
Like her mother was.
What is that? I was gonna bring up Green Arrow. Felicia?
There's lots of them. Yes, I think that was Felicia. Is her name? It doesn't sound right.
It doesn't sound
close. Right.
Felicity.
Felicity. Yeah.
Felicity is for the Green Arrow.
The man behind the computer.
Yes, there we go. The man behind the computer. So I see her as that, and so because of that, she becomes a leader in that aspect. Mm-hmm. And then Flynn and Kryn are out on the field.
Mm-hmm. They're older.
Mm-hmm. But they also kind of badass in a way where they're...
Well, they're older. They have the knowledge. They have the experience. And this is the book club member's daughter, Lola. So they're the other member was not Lola originally. It was her mom.
Curiosity is, why did Nathaniel go back to where Ella and Samuel were? He took the boy to Marcus.
He wasn't expecting it. He wasn't expecting to see the Seed of Chaos. And when he ran across, he was paying attention to the road. He wasn't looking around. He didn't want to see it either, but he didn't want to leave Ella and Samuel alone.
Okay.
Going through it either. He didn't know he was gonna hurt him.
He didn't know it was gonna trigger those memories.
It wasn't a trigger. It was more than that. The Seed of Chaos spoke to him there, didn't it?
Okay.
It connected with him. That's what he wasn't expecting. And it hit him emotionally before it hit him visually or anything.
Okay.
Like a truck.
Scroll up. I wanted to make sure there was no other questions that I had. Oh, Ella's reaction to that promise that he made. And then her secondary reaction of...
Her understanding of it is unique.
Okay.
She was taught. She was literally taught this was important.
Mm-hmm.
And she sees it as not important. As not a good thing, like Sloane was trying to purport.
Let's go stir up some chaos.
It's like Draylin, a hint of Draylin there, isn't it?
With Ella?
River of blood. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little bit of Draylin in that.
That kind of response, yeah.
That kind of response of, okay, let's go stir up some chaos.
But she comes back a lot, and she acts much like Nathaniel, while being agreeable and less conscientious.
I feel like Nathaniel was maybe a person she looked up to, especially still going to school. And I mean, she's had to have known Nathaniel because, I mean, with the school, even though you're at the school at a young age, you still see family.
It's almost like boarding school, but your family's right there if they want to be.
Yeah.
And if they don't want to be, you have adults that'll take care of you. And everyone in there, I mean, I imagine it's kind of like Harry Potter, the school. There's danger, yeah. There's an intrigue and adventure, but it's not...
You just don't get to go home for the summer.
Yeah, you just don't go home. And you learn magic in the end. You become out like this master in one magic. Like going to college and studying for a PhD.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, a bachelor's. To go and learn how to build some intricate machine or craft these perfect little rooms and understand how they work.
I can see her looking up to Nathaniel as well.
Yeah. A lot of people do. He's noble. All of his actions in his whole life have been noble. That's all it's ever been. Caring about the other person intentionally. There we
go. Scroll up a bit more. Just to...
No problem.
I like the fact that Samuel's trying to skirt the issue, not for the faint of heart, looking at the boy, giving that side glance, that communication above children kind of thing. And Nathaniel's like, no, we don't do that.
It's more than that. He's conscientious. He needs the boy's opinion to form it, and his opinion wasn't given, and he still made his decision. Mm-hmm. He asked the boy, and the boy hesitated, and he thought, I don't want to drag a kid who doesn't want to be going through it. I don't want to do that, so let's just go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he had just like that. He's a very brilliant man.
But he still took the time to ask the boy his opinion.
Give him a chance to speak if he wanted to.
We're not.
And the answer wasn't, I'll take it. I'll see what it's like. So, the answer is probably, let's just avoid it and get you to Marcus and come back and help them through in case there's any problems.
What's ahead is very scary. Are you prepared to see some gruesome things? And he let him think about it, too. It wasn't a direct answer.
And then he just left him to thinking because the answer wasn't obviously, I can handle it. So he just, like, let go and said, we'll figure out another way. So that way we don't have to even think about it. We can just get past it. And then he did.
Well, and you wonder if,
but
like...
Nathaniel's easy for him.
I mean, we don't get to see the boy's
quickly.
point of view from this angle because it's not his chapter.
But you do get to see his point of view walking into the gruesome details.
Well, no.
By the way, in the future, this is going to happen to him, whether he likes it or not.
But I can see, like, myself, like, putting myself in the boy's shoes. I could see, I'm going to see gruesome things in the future. Maybe I should get it out of the way now. You know, we're stalled here because I'm the reason why everybody's stopping. So they're waiting for my answer. Like, he's in this circle of, I don't want to see this, but I probably should. I don't, you know. So
too much thinking.
Yeah, and I can see that.
Action.
So Nathaniel just picking the boy up and taking him.
Just being done with it.
Means that he wasn't ready to see it, and he's not wanting the boy to make a decision that he wasn't ready for because the people around him thinks he should or should not. Shoulds and shoulds, nots.
Yeah.
We explained the bell.
Which comes back up.
You can go up again.
No more.
Yeah. Marcus is a wise leader, very much like his brother. This family seems to talk about each other like they're not there.
Like family.
To them.
Like family.
But with love.
Like family.
Some family don't do that with love.
Mine doesn't.
Rokai wasn't mad when she declined. It's an interesting point because in fact, after she left, he made his reason to exist to prove to her. That was his moment of realization of why would she decline? Why would someone of love decline?
It was a realization moment, wasn't it?
Because, I mean...
He had to think. He had to think, why would someone who says they are of love and everyone believes is of love won't love me?
And when they've had relationships before...
But she gave her reasoning to that question. Do you remember what it was? In the last chapter.
Yeah.
You're not kind.
Yeah.
And what was the next thing he did?
He showed it.
A genuine, huge act of kindness by feeding literally everyone in his village. Every day.
No one has to worry about food. No one has to worry about getting magic to make food.
No immortality project.
Yeah.
He's just feeding people. And that's all he wanted to do was prove that by doing it. It made me, it endeared me to Rokai. And Rokai, the little ferret man, it just fits Cheska so well.
No, this one was really good. There wasn't a lot of, like, things that didn't make sense or need to be cleared out.
There's some dialogue in here that's crap. But oh well.
I don't think it's, like, horrible.
That's what's crap. I mean, I like trash. I like trash more than I like treasures. One of my favorite games, Mindustry, is free.
Yes.
It's just trashware. And it's not a mobile game. It's an actual game that somebody made, but others treat it like trash because they don't value it.
Well, it's a free
and
game.
Even the person
Why
who
would
made
I get a free game?
I mean, I guess that's what I'm writing here. It's just this flotsam. It's just trash. I would appreciate anyone who likes it. Just like I like the game. You know. And it's Mindustry. Google it. It's out there. It's on itch.io, I think is what it's called these days. Is that what it is?
I have no idea.
I forgot where I got it now. It's a free game website.
A little bit of a light into Tresca too, a bit more, is that
she's wise well beyond her years. That's the goal, at least.
I mean, the whole reason why they had Flow and Force on their side is because of Tresca. The reason why they're going to get, you know, her going by herself to Rokai to get them on their side.
It was because of Tresca, because she said, "My divine is bigger than your divine," so confidently when her friend was going to be dead. Yeah, she knew.
Yeah.
She wasn't afraid, and that changed Forrest's mind. And Forrest, in the end, Forrest gave it up freely.
Mm-hmm.
As long as Tresca withheld her favor, and she did. Because she had Flow. And Rohan has Frelick. Yikes.
Yeah. Yeah, just madness with more madness.
With vile madness. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Right, recap.
Just a really great... Not add a notebook. I always do that. Chapter 22.
So they were headed to Marcus. Now, would you say he revealed the full bit of what happened to Home, or did he just kind of give a little bit of it?
Draylon explained what happened at home in the second chapter.
And Nathaniel explained his
deal with chaos.
Okay.
With the seed of chaos, which is a character, by the way, with dialogue. And it only gets more intense. It's going to drive him mad.
That's scary.
Yeah.
A gruesome sight withheld for a day.
There's two H's.
How was it withheld for a day?
I just changed it to today. Withheld for today. Was withheld for today.
From the boy only. Not many others. The others got caught up in Nathaniel's chaos. And Captain Ella begins to understand. Hooded can't type, save his life.
Literally.
Wow. Ooh, question of the day. What would you give to the Seed of Chaos?
Nothing?
You would give nothing.
Never in a million years. Only sow chaos. Never impose order.
Yes, but if you had to give something up, is it the only thing you can give up with chaos?
You don't give up. He eats your order. He consumes it. And Sloane fed it the people who stole children, who took children away from his school. Their order, their understanding. And he was away from it for so long. Well, anyway, thanks for watching or listening, whichever one you did.
Have a good day.
I love you. Bye.